Okay, does anyone else open the holiday bin and think, "Oh my gosh, these decorations again?"
Oh my God, yes. I totally feel like that. And I found a way. I make it a tradition to add something new to my Christmas decor every year. It keeps it feeling fun and makes it more exciting. This year, I found the cutest little rustic snowman figurine set on Wayfair. And there might be a little bit of a snowman obsession going on with me.
Okay, I was really surprised because you've told me that you've been buying a new snowman since you were 22. So, like, your living room is covered with snowmen during the holiday season.
It is, and I love it. I totally love it. And you know what? Wayfair makes it so easy to find the pieces that make me feel festive and excited and match my style, even the kind of quirky parts. It offers fast shipping, tons of options, and all within my budget.
So, whether you're hosting, you're decorating, or just wanting to add a little holiday cheer, Wayfair has everything from cozy guest room upgrades to wreaths, cookware, and yes, even snowmen. So, get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, Joanne Crone, joined here with the lovely Brie Tucker.
Why, hello, buddy. How are you?
We get to talk about something that I love talking about, Brie. It's all about our own body positivity, how we as moms feel about our bodies, and how that reflects down to our kids. It is such a topic that I'm passionate about because my mom and my grandma were both in the whole Weight Watchers, weight loss phase, and that is all I saw growing up. I mean, what's your experience with that, Brie?
Oh my gosh, yeah. My mom still to this day is constantly talking about her weight. I mean, I've seen her go a whole day with eating nothing but a yogurt. I mean,
Oh,
and you know what's even worse? Like growing up the way we did in the 90s, even now, me knowing all the things I know about body positivity, when I do see my mom complaining about her weight and eating just a yogurt, I'm like, wow, I wish I had that kind of discipline. And that is so messed
and that's
up.
so messed up. It's so messed up. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that's so messed up, but you don't know how to deal with it because these
Yeah.
thoughts just pop up rent free in your head. And today, helping us untangle all these thoughts is a frequent guest of the No Guilt Mom podcast. It is Whitney Casares. She is a board certified pediatrician, author, and founder of Modern Mommy Doc and the Modern Mamas Club app. She's also a spokesperson for the American Academy of Pediatrics and a sought after speaker whose work has been featured in outlets like Fortune, Forbes, and Today Parenting. Whitney lives in Portland, Oregon with her husband and two daughters, and she has also written a new book for kids called My One of a Kind Body. And with that, let's get on with the show. Welcome, Whitney, back to the No Guilt Mom podcast. We're so excited to have you here and to talk all about body positivity and health and everything because, oh my gosh, do we need to talk about it?
Oh, yeah. Do we have a list of questions for you on this one?
Yeah, we got to talk about it because we all like to pretend like this was something from just our parents' generation, but we are still dealing with it and we have different versions of it that we're dealing with ourselves, and our kids are dealing with it in a totally new way because of social media.
Oh, I know. I thought magazines were bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested how kids are dealing with it because I could tell as a mom going on social media and seeing like all of these women who are now like entering perimenopause and they're all like, look how strong we are in perimenopause and we don't have to count calories and we're gaining muscle and walking with our weighted vests and don't have to like it is the exact same stuff that was sold to us when we were 17 years old and looking at like those skinny people in magazines and then
Yeah.
trying to put that on in our own lives. So, Whitney, I'm wondering, like, how is it different for our kids? What are they seeing?
Yeah, so you're right. We are seeing a lot of the Fitspo content. So, same gift or like non gift, different packaging, right? Our parents, it was the Slim Fast, it was the Weight Watchers. For us, it's like yoga, weighted vests, all of that.
Mhm.
our kids are seeing a lot of it through celebrities and influencers that they see online. So, for example, my kids love Cat's Eye, the K-pop group. And so
Mm.
they want to dress exactly like Cat's Eye. They want to look exactly like Cat's Eye. Well, Cat's Eye is a bunch of really thin girls, like really thin, they might not be exactly the same as my kiddos. And so the
Yeah.
more that they look at those images, then they're going to see more stuff on their content on their feeds. Also, a lot of our kids are looking at mental health stuff online. So on TikTok, there are a lot of people who are not credentialed. It's a whole other issue, but a lot of
Oh,
people who are on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube that are telling kids like, oh, you have anxiety or you have OCD or you have
Uh-huh.
autism, whatever. And they're also talking with them about beauty regimens. They're also talking with them about exercise. They're also kind of presenting this image of what do you look like if you're perfect. So it's very different for us than our parents. The other thing that's happening is advertisers are going after our kids and marketing to them the
yeah.
same exact stuff that they're marketing to us. So this whole Sephora Kids thing,
Mm-hmm.
I have a totally different take on it than other people do. I feel like I used to go for Wet and Wild at the drugstore. Did you guys do Wet and
Yes.
Wild?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Wet and Wild, Sea Breeze. Like, come on, bring me back to the 80s, girl. Bring me back.
Yeah.
Right? And so that was $1 for us to
Mhm.
get. It was really cheap. But now these companies are marketing the same exact products they would market to us. So our kids are looking at the $27,
Yep.
$28 eyeliner and expecting that that's what we'll have. So that's a whole other pressure that they have about how to look good, is that they have to have the really expensive version of the makeup, as opposed to us. We were totally fine with the cheaped out version. It didn't matter. We
Right?
just wanted our cover. Yeah.
Like the best thing ever for me was when my parents would buy me like those huge makeup kits that were
Yes.
like smelled like crayons because it was really cheap. But I still
Hmm.
loved it. It had, I mean, Joanne knows how colorful I am. It had a million different colors of eyeshadow. I was so excited, Joanne, and like
Mm-hmm.
6 different lipsticks. Like, not something they could do now. No.
That is interesting though, how it compares to what we were marketed to, like the whole inexpensive versus expensive stuff, which is a lot of pressure on kids and it's a lot of pressure on parents as well. When the
Hmm.
kids are coming to you and be like, yes, I need to go spend $150 at Sephora because guess what, mom? Your hair care that you're buying from the drugstore, that's not good for you. I need this
Yes.
$40 shampoo. That
Oh
is
my
Yes.
so
gosh,
much
yes.
pressure. So
Yeah,
much
exactly. And
pressure.
it again kind of comes back to this whole wellness movement of like, this
Hmm.
is the more vegan version. This is the version that doesn't have the sulfates in it. This is the thing
Yeah.
that's good for me. So, how could you buy this thing for me that's total trash at the drugstore or at Target? I need this thing that's going to be the best. And also, the fact that Ulta Beauty is now at Target, that also changes things, because right next to the cheaper stuff is the
There's
stuff that's
expensive
going to be
stuff.
more for adults and for, yeah, and so the kids are looking at that too. I used to go to Macy's. Like if you wanted
Mhm.
something expensive, you had to go to the
Yeah,
Oh
department
my
store.
gosh.
absolutely.
Okay, since we're all on this makeup kick for right now, expensive for me, like high tier guys. Like, did anybody else stalk whenever Clinique was going to have another one of their
Yep.
sales?
I always had the Clinique bonus. Clinique bonus week.
Yeah, I go buy like one thing I liked, so I could, and I would stalk between all the different department stores so that I could go get all the
Yeah.
bonuses. Yeah.
Heck yes. Yeah, that yellow lotion.
Oh my
Yes.
god,
Yes.
our
So many
whole
memories
sorority
about
wore
that.
it.
Well, with the body positivity stuff, though, something that I have noticed in this generation is even though we do have those influencers who are preaching more of a wellness trend, there's also the influencers who are preaching more of a body positivity thing. I know my daughter in particular, she's 16, and she is very like aware of the influencers that she's following to make sure that they do have all different bodies represented. And they're looking at this whole person kind of mental health area, but more like exercise for endorphins, that sort of thing. So I see this other side that we didn't necessarily have. Do you see that too, Whitney?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think our kids are a lot more advanced than we were
Yeah.
about understanding what fat
Mhm.
shaming looks like, about
Mhm.
understanding diversity and inclusion for sure. My daughter went to a camp 2 years ago. So, I mean, gosh, she must have been in the fifth grade. And she said that the person who was in charge, the camp counselor, was talking about certain foods as being unhealthy or that they had more
Mhm.
calories or had more fat in them. And she literally called out the person and said, like, I'm sorry, but that's diet culture. We don't do that in my house. Like, you're not
Mhm.
allowed to do that. So
Heck yeah.
yes,
I love that.
100%. Like, I feel very proud of our kids. I think that is the bonus of social media and of them seeing some of these things, is that they are earlier on getting these messages. And I think it also points, I don't want to take too much credit, but I think it does point to us as parents, as
Mhm.
moms, that most of us are trying to be really intentional about not putting the same messages in our kids that we got. One
Mhm.
area that I think makes it kind of tricky is sometimes a lot of the body positivity influencers, it's like you have to be so body positive all the time that there's no room for real feelings. So, like, all bodies are great bodies all the time. Love your body constantly. And I get a
Mhm.
little bit worried about that for ourselves and for our kids, because I know sometimes I'm a human and I look at my body, and even if I know intellectually that cellulite is a normal thing, I see it and I'm like, ugh, or like there's a couple, like, hairs on
Yeah.
my chin from perimenopause. And I'm
Oh
like, oh,
gosh.
disgusting. Like, what is going on? Or my kids, like they have acne and like they don't love that. And so I think that there's room to go beyond strict body positivity to make it not
Mhm.
toxic for our kids and move more toward body confidence and body literacy and body like self-compassion, where when you have
Mhm.
these very normal thoughts around, I don't feel great about my body at this exact moment, you
Mhm.
have room to be able to say, okay, that makes sense because I'm a human. Humans don't always feel great about their bodies. I'm sure I'm not alone in this. What am I
Yeah.
going to do about it? How am I going to respond to that and help myself feel better?
That brings up an interesting question because, like, what does body positivity actually look like then? It's not the rah, 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 everything is great kind of thing. When you are giving yourself that self compassion, what's like an appropriate step for the what am I going to do about it? Still in
Yeah.
tune with like not going into diet culture, but not being too body positive. Like, where do we go?
Yeah. So let's break it down with an example. So I would say, let's go for like the cellulite example for ourselves, right? I think for moms, one way to approach this would be, okay, I look at myself, I'm wearing jean shorts and I see cellulite and I go, ugh, gosh, I hate cellulite. I feel so fat today, right?
Mhm.
You recognize this is a feeling that I have about myself. I feel gross in my body today. Then you validate that feeling. That makes a lot of sense that I feel that way. I've been told my whole life that cellulite is gross and
Mhm.
that if my body's not totally skinny, then I don't measure up. Okay. Then you have some common humanity around that. I bet I
Mhm.
could fill a coliseum full of other moms, other people my age that feel that exact same way. Now I've
Yeah.
taken a pause to figure out, like, whoa, how do I feel? Where'd that message come from? That makes sense. It's not my fault. Yada, yada. Now I have a choice to make. So I could say, you know what? I'm so overwhelmed by so many other things in life right now. I don't even have time to be like the proud mom who's going to go out and wear my like jean shorts anyway. I'm just going to put on sweats today. Like, it's fine. Like, everybody has a bad day and I want to put on sweats.
Yeah. It's giving yourself self-compassion.
Yes, you're giving yourself some compassion. Or
Yeah.
if you've slept well and you have not punctured your hand like Joanne did this morning and
Yeah.
you're feeling like
I am not running on
great,
all cylinders this morning. Yeah.
you're like, okay, no, 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 I feel mad about this. I'm wearing the shorts
Mhm.
anyway. That's another choice you could make. And I think both of those are okay choices.
Yeah.
As long as you're kind of tuning in to, this is the message I'm feeling. I'm being conscientious. I'm being like
Yeah.
intentional about my choice.
Mhm. Yeah. So, like, doing that and doing that in front of kids is actually very impactful because when they see you make those decisions, they then know that they have the opportunity to make those decisions as well.
Yeah.
And coming back from the break, I want to get into in your book, you say that BMI is so flawed. We're going to talk about that right after this.
You know that one task you've been putting off since forever? If that task is start therapy, we have got the solution that you've been looking for, Grow Therapy. Joanne and I have done therapy throughout our lives. It's helped us through our anxiety, depression, and I'm going to be honest with you, those I just can't do this anymore moments. Honestly, therapy gave me the tools, the perspective, and I'm just going to say the ability to be crying less in my car, sitting in the Target parking lot. So, what what's the hardest part? I really think it's finding the therapist. And Grow Therapy is here to make that so much easier. You can search by insurance, specialty, availability. They have it all. They offer virtual and in-person sessions, nights, weekends. Honestly, guys, you can get started in as little as 2 days. It's the therapy that fits into your busy mom schedule. So, whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0, depending on your plan. Visit growtherapy.com/NGM today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/NGM. Growtherapy.com/NGM. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Nowadays, we're all juggling work, school drop offs, events, appointments, and everything else. So, flexibility in education isn't just nice to have, it is essential.
And that's what makes K-12 powered schools such a fantastic and valuable option. It's tuition free. You heard that, free. Accredited online public school for kindergarten through 12th grade, and it's designed to fit your real family life.
With K-12, school happens wherever there's internet, whether that's from the comfort of home, a grandparent's house, or on the go between activities. It moves with you.
Students can follow a daily schedule that fits their learning style and your family's rhythm, all with the support of certified teachers who are trained specifically for online education.
Plus, there are online clubs and social events so kids can still connect and build confidence no matter where they're logging in from. See why more than 3 million families have chosen K-12 to empower their students. Go to k12.com/NGM today to learn more. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/NGM. k12.com/NGM.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast Gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast Gems.
Whitney, right before the break, we were talking about BMI and how it's flawed. And I'm so excited to hear this because I have such bad memories of BMI going back to 8th grade health class, where we were told to calculate our BMI. And I remember going up to my teacher, Mrs. Handler, and we had to make a plan then for what we were going to do with our BMI. And I was a little like, yeah, it was awful. I was a little like heavier.
No 8th graders should be doing that, man.
No 8th
Sorry.
graders should
Yeah.
be doing
No.
that. No.
Shame on that curriculum.
This was 90s. It was
Not
the
going to
90s.
shame the teacher, but I'll say shame on the curriculum.
No, but I remember my teacher being like, "Don't you want to lower that?" And I'm like, I was just so mad and I hated it. So tell us, how is BMI flawed?
Yeah. Okay. So BMI is this calculation, first of all, for those who have been living under a rock, BMI is this calculation of your weight versus your height, and then it's your age, and then based off gender. So it has all these different factors into it. And so it does have a few different components, but it doesn't account for things like muscle mass. It doesn't account for puberty. It doesn't account for ethnicity. So it has a lot of things that it is not accounting for. It was really designed to be looking at white men, not at a variety of people. like
Wow,
most
what a
things.
shock. It's like I've never heard that before for
Everything
every
else
study.
for what men.
Yeah, exactly. And I consider BMI a vital sign. So in medicine, we use vital signs all the time. So one vital sign people will be familiar with is your heart rate, right?
Mhm.
Your heart rate, that is a vital sign. But I would never make a diagnosis about someone or make a decision about a clinical treatment plan based only on someone's heart rate. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
always use that in coordination with other things. So BMI has to be looked at in terms of what's someone's activity level, what is their nutritional status, are they having any mood issues, what's the blood pressure, like abdominal
Yeah.
fat, all of these other issues. And people are actually making a huge move to look at other measurements like central abdominal fat actually as what is the actual measurement that we should be using, especially for kids, but also for perimenopausal women and menopausal
Yeah.
women. But in the meantime, it's kind of like the thing that's used in medicine. And the problem is, we know that, especially when healthcare providers focus on BMI and weight, in the office for our kids, but then also when they do that for us as adults, that it actually makes things worse for us. It doesn't make it usually so that we then lose a bunch of weight. It
Yeah.
usually makes it so that we feel so ashamed that we then
Yeah.
overeat and we tend to gain more weight.
Whitney,
But
seriously,
Absolutely.
you just described my exact response. And I was also going to throw in there, Joanne, like I never had a teacher have us do the BMI, but every time I've had to do anything to figure out my body mass index, it's always been heavy. It's always been big. Even when I was like 4'6", it still would say I was really like too much on it. And I think that as someone who is a curvy girl and has always been a curvy girl, like it just makes you feel like crap about, like you said, about yourself. You're just like, I'm never going to be what I'm supposed to be. So
yeah,
you either have to have a heck of a lot of confidence and live with that, or you say things that make you feel bad and you say them around your kids and they make your kids. I feel awful whenever I say something negative about myself around my kids and they defend me.
yeah.
Because then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, right?
Yeah, when
That's
your
what
kids
happened.
say no one talks about my mom that way, because I've taught my kids to say that. So now they will sometimes if I say something or if I do something and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shoot, you caught me. Yeah. So the thing that I want to like say about BMI, there's been a couple articles and books even. So Virginia Soul Smith in her book Fat Talk, she talks all about diet culture and BMI and how flawed it is. And she even wrote a bunch of articles that are like pediatricians are fat shaming kids in the office. And so this is what we need to do. And she's 100% right. But I want to be clear. I feel like a little bit like I got to defend my fellow pediatricians. No pediatrician wants to body shame a kid. Like
Yeah.
no one
No.
is trying to do that. At the same time, I remember 2 years into my clinical practice, there was this girl. Her name is Layla. I remember name changed for the, HIPAA
Yeah.
purposes. This girl's 10 years old. And I was like, she's overweight. Here's your calorie spreadsheet for how you can lose it. You fall into this BMI category, showed it to her. She burst into tears. Her mom pulled me
Yeah.
outside in the hallway and was like, why would you do that? She already doesn't fit in with her friends, and said, when you are a mom, you will understand. And that is the lowest memory, lowest point of my medical career. I feel so ashamed that I treated a person that way. And also, I learned so much from that interaction to be like, shoot, you're right. Like, that doesn't motivate anybody. And so,
Yeah.
It
even
doesn't.
if we were trained that way as pediatricians and we don't want to be body shaming, we have to change the way we're doing things. We have to not talk about this stuff in front of our kids.
Yeah, it's so interesting because you brought up that book by Virginia Salt Smith, Fat Talk. And in the book, also, she discusses how a lot of the negative effects that overweight people experience due more to the fat shaming and the social isolation than the actual like being overweight or heavy itself. What,
Yeah.
as a pediatrician, do you say to that?
So, that is why now I've really shifted the focus, and we should all be as pediatricians to what's your friend group like? How are things going in your mental health? What are you doing to, be in community with other people? Like, and if someone says, oh, because my knees hurt because of the weight that I'm carrying, I feel like I can't run, then I'm happy to work with someone to be like, okay, cool. Let's create a plan that allows you to either figure out a different movement plan that lets you to be with other kids who also can't run, or let's make it so you can run. Let's help you to be able to develop that skill over time. Like what do we need to do to strengthen your knees? What do we need to do to build muscle mass around that? So that way you can be in a great place. So, yes, it's a lot about the social isolation. The other thing, though, is educating the non overweight kids on this is not a reason to be excluding kids from your social group,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think we can't forget that part too. This is not on the bigger kids to solve. It's actually on the smaller kids to solve and the parents to solve.
Yeah.
And the parents. And that
Yeah.
requires a really, really big mind shift to do.
Yes.
I've been through periods where like I'm 20 pounds lighter, I'm 20 pounds heavier,
Yep.
and I could tell you that how people react to you and perceive you like feels different when you are a certain weight versus another weight. And it's kind of like how our society looks at that. Like you get, for instance, when I'm at a smaller size, I get compliments on it. I get compliments on it from my mom. I get compliments on it from friends. It's like, oh my gosh, you look so good. There's this whole Ozempic thing going on with so many people losing weight. They're all getting compliments. They all get that positive feedback.
Mhm.
It's extremely difficult to not fall into any sort of shame for yourself when you see that you are not getting those compliments.
With that being said, though, right? Like a piece of that is, and I'll say I'm definitely one. Whenever anybody, if I know that they're on a journey of losing weight, I try to make sure that I give them the positive feedback, the compliments as they're moving along, because in my head, I'm like, okay, it's a twofold. One, it's what I was taught by my parents when I was younger to just be polite. Like politely, you're going to tell someone they look good if they're in a new dress. If they're losing weight, you're going to be like, wow, you look so fit, whatever. So there's the niceness factor that I feel like I'm being polite. Then there's the other factor of I know that we need positive feedback to continue working through challenging things in our lives. So then I think I'm helping them with that. And I feel like, now I'm curious how you both feel about this. I feel like I can't not say something because they're expecting it. And if I don't say it, then they feel like they're not getting the validation. And then that's a rude or mean thing for me to do. Thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is a great point. Okay. So I'm going to 2 points. One, I'm with you, Joanne, on losing and gaining weight like my whole entire life. This goes back to, yes, all of us, probably every single woman, right? There was a point like 5 years ago that I lost a bunch of weight, and my husband started being like, oh my gosh, girl, you look so good. Like, ooh, what are we going to do
Yeah.
tonight? You look so good. He was so into me. And we were doing couples therapy at the time. And I remember saying to the couples therapist in front of him, well, I love a compliment, but actually what it does is make me so needing to be in control of this and keep myself thin, because I have now internalized this idea, which I think I'm right, that you actually find me more valuable and attractive smaller.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like me more smaller. I'm fitting the ideal of what you think is sexy, of what you think is like a good wife, of what you think is the right body type. So now if I gain this again, which I probably am not going to have full control over not gaining it, and I did gain it, now I'm going to feel crappy once I gain this. And I did. And like, of course, he didn't say anything, but he stopped saying, you look so
Look
great.
good.
You look so
Well, that's
amazing.
good.
Yeah.
Well, no,
that
I
part.
mean, I gained weight and then he stopped saying, you look so amazing. You look so great. And it wasn't because he doesn't like me as a person. I just mean his ideal, just like everybody else's, is thin and small. And so I think that's the problem with the compliments, is that it actually puts you in even more of a prison, even though that's not our intention. And this brings up like for grandparents and stuff. Like my mom does this too, Joanne. When I lose weight, and Brie, when I lose weight, when I'm in a good spot, my mom is like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. When the kids look thinner, she says they look amazing. And I don't want to turn away her compliment because I feel good too. Like I'm losing, but I know that if I don't kind of retrain her a little bit to go like, oh, please don't focus on it because it makes me focus on it that much more.
No, yeah, I get those comments from my mom too. I mean, we just had a discussion of it 2 weekends ago about, we were talking about all of our weights because she's, of course, worried my dad's losing weight. And like, it's just such a weight focus and it drives me crazy. So right after this, we are going to get into now, what do we do about it?
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
At Talus, we know cybersecurity can be tough and you can't protect everything, but with Talus, you can secure what matters most. With Talus industry-leading platforms, you can protect critical applications, data, and identities, anywhere and at scale with the highest ROI. That's why the most trusted brands and largest banks, retailers, and healthcare companies in the world rely on Talus to protect what matters most: applications, data, and identities. That's Talus, T-H-A-L-E-S. Learn more at talusgroup.com/cyber.
So, Whitney, we've talked about body positivity. We've talked about how, giving compliments for weight loss is not the best thing, either for the person. It kind of keeps them in a little trap. Now we need to move forward because we are raising a new generation who we don't want to have the same weight hangups that we do. What is one thing that we can do as moms to really help our kids feel good about their bodies?
Yeah. I am a big fan of honesty and authenticity with our kids around this topic. So
Mm,
there are a lot of people that really have this idea, again, with the body positivity thing, of like shield your kids from anything around body negativity. I say
mm,
absolutely not. Point it out when they see it. When grandma says something about your body in front of them, you say, "Grandma is stuck in diet culture. We don't hate her for it, but man, we're not going to be that way for it." The same way you would point out racism to your kids, the same way you would point out bullying to your kids, where you're not trying to shield them from the entire thing and pretend like it doesn't exist, but instead you're trying to educate them. Look,
mhm,
when I was growing up, we had the, Special K cereal. Grandma used to do like grapefruit diets every single day in front of me. This is, I was watching 90s dumb blonde movies, dumb blonde, not my words, my kids' words, with my
mhm.
kiddo. And she was like, "Why is everybody so skinny? Why do they all look exactly the same?" Like, oh,
That was the
That
90s.
was the movies we saw. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Or even now, I see a lot of the Ozempic ads that come on
Mhm.
TV. Our kids see those on social media for sure.
Mhm.
I'm not shying away from discussions around that with my kids because I feel like they need to know this is the next thing that's coming that they're going to need to address. And one thing I want to say as like a GLP-1 thing, because I know that people are feeling very strongly about this. Like either you're
Mhm.
like pro GLP-1 or you're anti, and they're the worst thing in the whole world. Listen, just like every single medication out there, it is not all bad or all good.
Yeah.
If you are taking a GLP-1 as a parent, you are not bad for doing that. If you want to lose weight, that's fine. If you want to not have bad knee pain, that's fine. If you have food noise, that's okay if you're taking a GLP-1. It's all about like checking in with yourself and giving
Mhm.
yourself compassion around it, right? So like if you're doing it to lose weight, but then you're saying to yourself, "Listen, I feel a little bit like effed. My metabolism is bad because of the dieting I did,
Yep.
because of all of the exercise stuff that I did. But I'm going to choose, if I take this medication, to still project body confidence to my kids, even if I don't lose weight. I'm going to talk with my kids if they ask me about it, not in a weight loss way, like, "Oh, yeah, I'm so excited about myself. I dropped 10 pounds." I'm going to be like, "Yeah, the food noise is less, you
Yeah.
know? And then I'm going to be teaching my own kids that I hope you never have to use these medications because you have a healthier relationship with your body than I have ever had."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want people to be able to have some nuance around these drugs, you know? I know that's
Yeah.
hard, but I
Everything
think it's
needs some
possible.
nuance. There's so right? So few things in life are black and white, all good, all bad.
Exactly.
There's always nuance. So,
It really does need nuance. And I look at the GLP-1 discussions, and I know actually people very close to me are on GLP-1s
Mhm.
and they're loving it and they're doing great. And I don't like to talk about them. Like, I won't say their names because of all of the backlash that GLP-1s get. But I also like want to counter it with the opposite behavior that's not good in a mental way, because I've seen, the diet culture behavior where we were traveling and one of the moms was telling her daughter, "Oh, you can only go and get ice cream once a day from
Right.
this stand over here. And if you had pizza for one meal, you cannot have pizza for the next meal." It's just making like all of these arbitrary rules around food. And that's not healthy for people either. So, like, people
No.
are like, "You just have to try harder. You can't be on a GLP-1." Well, you can't
Yeah.
do that. There's a lot. There's a lot here, Whitney.
Yes, I agree with you. And actually, I mean, that's what I was going to bring up about the Fat Talk book and kind of that philosophy. So I loved every single thing she had to say around diet culture, around what we came from, around fat bias, around how to talk to our kids, all that stuff. And then when it came to what our kids should eat, it was like, it's a free for all.
Yeah.
And my little pediatrician heart just went like, no, 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 no. Here's my stance. And I think that a lot of your listeners will find this more middle of the road and doable. In my house, I, at younger ages, chose what my kids would have on their plates, including a large variety of foods, including some foods that were packaged, including lots of treats and stuff. But then my kids could choose how much of it they wanted to eat or if they're going to eat it at all. And then I don't have conversations with my kids around that's a good food, that's a bad food, you had too much of this, you don't have enough of that. I really try to make the conversations for my kids and for my patients like functionally for your body, what do you feel like is going to help your body to function the best? So, okay, awesome. You've had a lot of pizza today. That's great. We love pizza. That's going to be great because it has all that quick energy. Is there anything we need in our body because we're going to go to soccer practice that's going to be more of that energy that's going to stick around a little longer? Like, do we need some more fat in our body? Do we need some more protein in our body? Like, what's the thing maybe we haven't had on our plate over the last couple of days that your body is asking for, right?
Yeah. And I like that because I feel like we weren't given that language or that education when we were younger. We had to learn that shiznit on our own.
Exactly.
Right. And then we were also taught, right, that it's like, it's shameful if you're struggling with your weight. So I don't know about anybody else, but I wouldn't go talk to a doctor about that then because I'd be like, well, I'm shamed now to say anything. I got to read all this stuff, figure it out on my own, figure out how to read the labels on my own. And so like we try to offer more help. There's one thing, Joanne, you said to me one time, and it has always stuck with me. Trying to be healthy for the lifestyle you want to live.
Yeah. Train for the life you want.
Yeah. Train for the life you want. That's what it is. Sorry.
I love how you phrase it, Whitney, because what I usually ask my kids, what always goes down wrong with my 16-year-old daughter, and she says I'm stuck in diet culture and I'm not with this, but it's all like, how does that food like make you feel? Is it making you feel more tired? Is it making you feel like achy? Like, how is it making you feel?
Right.
And how to balance with that. For instance, she was hungry all the time and we talked about it and she was like eating all of the simple carbohydrates. And I'm like, it may just be good to throw like a handful of almonds in because they have the healthy fats and they're going to keep you full. And she's like, oh yeah, that's really great. But also it's like, my brain is like, don't talk about food. Don't talk about food. Don't point out food. Right. Don't do food. So it's like this inner like turmoil all the time, Whitney.
You have the angel and devil.
Yes, all the time. But I think that's what I mean. I think it's okay to talk about food as long as it doesn't have this whole pressure associated with it. Like, no, you may not have any more pizza. Like, no more ice cream. Instead, like, well, think about it. You've had a lot of this type of food and our bodies tend to like a lot of variety. Is there anything else that sounds like it might actually help you think a little better for your test tomorrow? Like, what are the foods that we know are helpful? Okay, this is going to sound a little crass, but I actually think about it like our pets. Like, I would never give my dog only duck treats all day long. Right? Like, that's crazy. Like, I would give my dog like the dog food, and then I might give them sometimes like the chew ballistic things, and then I might give them like a duck treat. Like, you would never just give your dog all turkey all day long. Like, you have to think about what is variety. And I think that's fair for us to think about that with our kids. And I think that our kids are smarter than us just saying, eat whatever you want. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could also have an analogy of movement. If my kid does soccer and only soccer, and they only do running drills where they do, what are those called? Suicides, which is a terrible name, but like, they're running back and forth. And that's the only physical activity they did. That would be really bad for them. They need stretching. They need strength training. Yeah. So it's the same thing with food. If we just think about it as variety and like our muscles and our bodies and our brains need different things to be successful, I think it takes the pressure off.
Yeah. Also, like one last thing about food is there's no bad food. For like you're talking about the sports and the athletes. So I coach mountain biking. And one of the things we're always coaching the kids to do is like, you need to eat something before you come. And usually like with endurance events, you have to get a simple carb in your body.
Yeah.
Pop-Tarts are actually a great mountain biking food.
Sure.
If you have a Pop-Tart right before you mountain bike, you're going to have that energy to go for it. Like, and it digests well. It doesn't sit in your stomach. It's a really good thing. We've run into the issue where like some parents are like, I am not buying my children Pop-Tarts. But there's no bad food. There's no bad food. It's just like how your body takes it in and what it's used for and how to go forward from there.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think this gets tricky too. There's been a lot of stuff about ultra processed foods and all that.
Yeah.
Some foods are good for us because they're fun.
Mhm.
That's okay. Like the good in the food could just be because it's fun, because it tastes good, because it has a good mouthfeel.
Yeah.
I do want parents and kids, again, to educate themselves on there are certain foods that are produced by marketers because they're going to have like a certain salty point or a certain taste point, sweet point that kind of don't play fair. So in terms of being nutrient dense, these foods will always be super fun, but they will hardly ever be nutrient dense. And so if you're just aware of that, you can choose. This is a moment where I want to have fun and I just want to eat a sprinkle. Girl, go for it. But I also want my kids to be savvy enough to know when they're being marketed to and when they're almost being like tricked by a food company to eat more of that food so that company makes more money. Yeah. You know, and I think that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great awareness to have. So tell us, Whitney, tell us about your upcoming book.
Yeah. Okay. So the book is coming out today, the day that this podcast is coming live. It's called My One of a Kind Body. It is being featured on NPR, so you can check that out. It's being featured in Parents, which is awesome. And I think the reason is because it's the first book of its kind that really comes from a pediatrician and has this concept of all bodies are good bodies and all bodies deserve to be taken care of well. So those ideas are not mutually exclusive. We can do both things. We have come from diet culture, but we're in a new place as parents. And so I want to help parents walk alongside. If you order the book by going through my website, so if you go to modernmommy.com, then I also created some videos for families. So that way, even though this book is for kids, there are some places where you can go and get some more of this parent-centered education. So you feel like you know how to kind of walk your kid through the book and give them some extra tips along the way.
I love that. And we'll have a link below in the show notes for that. So that is perfect. I think that when that happens a lot, when we have books for our kids, we don't always know what we're supposed to do with it. Or am I supposed to just hand it to my kid and go, here you go?
Right. Exactly. This is a great book to like leave on your kid's bed, put it in your kid's stocking, put it in the bathroom. The bathroom's a great place for kids to read these books. But also if your kids, of course, bring up that they have been bullied, if they bring up that they have a body confidence issue, like that's another place also to introduce this book.
I love it.
So it's called My One of a Kind Body. Go and pick it up for your kids. And Whitney, tell us something that you are looking forward to in your life that you're excited about.
Ooh, I'm excited. I am planning a trip. I'm going to Corfu, Greece.
Oh.
Yeah, next year. This opportunity just came alive. So I talked with my husband about it yesterday. It's a whole movement and leadership summit that is 7 days long that I'm going to with this local person who's here who I know really well. So it'll be awesome. So that's what I'm excited about this year. I'm like going to be saving and planning for it and buying outfits for it all year long.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing.
And all the pictures are going up on your Insta, right? I want to be able to see this whole thing.
I can share links for that too. Come on, Joanne. Join me.
Go to Corfu. Well, Whitney, thank you so much for coming on. And I love always talking about body positivity. And it's such a delight to talk to you. And everyone listening right now, go and get Whitney's book. It is called My One of a Kind Body, out today. And remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You could also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.